we get to begin round 13 today. We got Sydney and St Kilda. Welcome YouTube into the Legends Playground. Legend Lenny here. Okay. Sydney, St Kilda. It will be St Kilda who will be player 1. Sydney will be player 2. We do continue our season on. We are pretty much... Oh god. We are today pretty much heading into basically halfway through the season. It is round 13, but there are 216 games in the season, and I think we're at like 107. So we're there. The other... Oh, that actually like really hurt. that actually quite hurt. Quite a bit. Ow. Okay then. So yes, we are halfway through just about. When we finish the... Because we have 2 games today. This one's Sydney St Kilda. I don't know what the next one is. I don't remember the fixture and everything. But I know that like when we by the end of today we'll be halfway through. So that's kind of cool. That means it would have taken us almost just under 2 months to reach go rid of that, to reach halfway through the season, which is nice. It's nice timing, you know. It means we got like probably about 2 more months to go. So we're on track for my finishing date in terms of when I want to get through everything. Hopefully our games get good. I do think our last round we had, yes, there were blowouts in there, and I still would like the scores to be a bit bigger. But the competitiveness was one of the best in the round, which was good in terms of anticipation of which team would ultimately win. So that was a good thing, and we can just keep going and see what happens. Hopefully we keep it going good. So yeah, I was happy. I did find myself a bit happy today coming into stream right now, in that it's been a little bit. I've had to have like days off exercise for like a chest collarbone problem, which I still have, but I was able to get through like my 20Ks on the bike, which was good. Get rid of this, please. But I do feel it, like even now, like as I'm playing, it's still a problem. So, like I can feel, I'm like, fine, I won't do push-ups, but like I'm like itching to do them, you know. I just know that like if you're having a problem, Mr. Heaney, that you probably shouldn't be doing stuff. You should probably be lightening your load on everything. Yeah, which actually the argument there would be that maybe I shouldn't even actually be playing games right now. I shouldn't be streaming and putting them up on YouTube if I got like a problem that is being that even as I'm playing, because of the way that you use controllers, of course, does put a little bit of a strain on there. But oh wells. Hopefully just things will be okay though. Hopefully it'll all be alright within a few days. Okay, please get rid of that. No, that's going to be a pull up. Yeah. It's very easy to just like aggravate it just a little bit here and there, you know? Like you're moving around and it's like you don't really notice how often you do stuff until like you have like a bit of an injury and you have to work around it in terms of what's just normal for you. You're like, oh, you're getting up and you're getting down, and that like uses, and you like, you don't realize how often you use your arms to move around, to plant yourself down and everything, and until you're doing it and you're like, okay, try and be a little bit careful. Oh, I aggravated that over there, and it's just going for owie. Yeah, that's, who can get that one? That's with St Kilda. Get a kick on there. There you go. St Kilda. Bring it in. That's the McInerney. Oh.
Was that a throw? That's got to be a free kick.
But yeah, I'd like to think that I have like some stuff to talk about on my stream. The title is actually the title is like, it says, what is the value of a homeless person? And It's interesting. It actually got me to like have my so like in recent times, I found myself just like when I just start stream, I'm like, okay, let me like actually tweet out, oh, share stream, I'm live and stuff, right? But it's been a while since I just had like just a tweet, and I just put out what is the value of a homeless person. I only like just did that, so it's like there's no like expectation of like what would it be, like traction or anything. I just thought I'd put it there because maybe it's something that in the future I might have to get used to doing more and more of, is like actually like tweeting and putting things out, because might have to get used to that again on like the social medias.
What are your thoughts on what we've seen so far?
Because that's kind of how you can like, because I guess like at some point I'm gonna have, because that's like sort of how you like network, if you gain traction, you get some networking stuff there, people see it and you're like, oh my god, that's an interesting thing, because what we have in the like these streams and the videos, it's like, yes, there are games, but it's me talking about stuff, and sometimes like a subject will come up and it's like, I might want like people to like see me talk about those things, you know, but it's like, well, how do I do that? It's like, well, I guess you gotta like network, bitch. You gotta put yourself out there and be like, hey, I don't know, there's this thing and whatever, why don't you maybe like have a looky?
They've worked it well. Mills. It's a desperate tackle.
I'm not like completely there yet though. I'm not like completely at the point of like, let me go around and like put myself out there and like advertise myself and being like, hey guys, come check out my stream, you know, go to like a place and being like, oh my god, you like this thing, how about you like check out my stream, you might be able to see a thing like that maybe. Oh my god.
Marshall palms it
go
down.
Okay,
Him down.
but
they might be a little
yeah,
not to be rewarded. It was a fine.
Let's see what happens here. What was it though? That like, okay, so all it was that was like brought on like the what is the value of a homeless person question. But I was just thinking, and this is something I would have thought, what do you mean insufficient intent? All I was thinking about was like, wow, there's so many people in the world, you know? And it's like it's something I've thought about before, of like how many, the question kind of comes to like how many people in the world does it need to be, kind of? It's like, wow, there's so many people in the world. And it's like, yeah, isn't that great? We just like increasing population and stuff. It's like, well, how many people in the world do we actually need to be able to like function, you know, as a society, right? That's sort of where it comes down to, because if you think about it, if the world's always growing, like 50 years ago, I wish I knew like the exact, I feel like this is something that I wanted to do, and I've probably done a little bit of, but it's something I could research, I suppose. Oh, that's actually an idea. Maybe I could like have a whole thing where like I'm doing research on like how many people are in the world based on year, and just like looking at that. I mean, that could be something, but I'll get rid of this. But it's kind of like, okay, so like 50 years ago there were so many less people in the world, right? Yeah, but the world was still around, the world was functioning and stuff, and then it's like it's still been going on, so it's like, okay, does the world really need like 8 billion people in it at once, you know? Like, okay, so it's like, what's like the ideal amount of number of people that you would be able to say, okay, cool, we have this many, that's like a good number to have. Like, you could probably get rid of like at least 2 billion people, honestly. Like, if you really think about it in terms of like function, I'm not saying to do this or anything, but it's like, you could honestly, like, you could probably get rid of at least 2 billion people and be perfectly fine just trimming out the fat in terms of like what kind of society you want, and you'd be like, look, yeah, sure, maybe you don't want to go killing people and stuff, however, it's like a job, you know? When you have fat and you're like, look, we got too many people, we gotta make layoffs, you just lay them off. Oh. He's off target, and he hasn't got the distance anyway. And people might not like it and stuff, but they'll get used to it. They gotta move on, right? Life moves on, doesn't it? That's a bruising tackle. Again, didn't say I was advocating for it to happen. I'm just like willing to put in a thought in terms of like, oh, well, you probably wouldn't need 8 billion people. you know, to actually be able to do all the stuff that you want. And it's like, well, what is the value of a homeless person, you know? Because that's like the type of person you would probably look to get rid of. Because it's like, well, are they really putting in anything? Like, if you just get like an 80-year-old who's like homeless there and whatever, it's like, what if you just like got rid of them? Like, is anyone going to really give that much of a crap? It was just like something like taking up space. Because ultimately, like, you look at the situations, you're like, okay, everything around me, including people, is just like an asset in terms of what is the value of this asset over here. And it's like, well, if it's not valuable, you kind of don't want it around if you're trying to, you know?
Sloppy disposal and a turnover. Time to measure the kick. Howard making his claim.
There's someone, go get that over there.
In the middle.
But it's interesting because I think about that, and I also like realize that there's like a very good chance that, like, if it was something that like actually happened, of like, okay guys, we as world leaders have decided we need less people in the world, and we're going to look at all your qualifications and everything you've got, and we will determine whether you're worthy enough to still be alive. we need to trim the fat of this and make as good of a society as possible. There would actually be a decent chance I would fall in the group that would get killed. I actually think that's a decent chance of that. Just in that, it's like, look, I left school when I was 12, so in terms of like education level stuff, not really there. Okay,
made the footy his. Crouch intercepts the hand pass.
Are you serious? Insufficient intent?
Goes laterally. Defense.
Come get rid of this. Come on, Mr. Franklin. Oh. But then based on other things, I'm like, oh god, you know, I don't think people would look at me and actually have high value of me. You know, there's no chance of that. I would be considered very low value in terms of people that you would actually like want around. Like, I would be expendable. Like, I'd be very expendable, and I get that. Like, that's not like a thing of like, oh my god, I feel so down about myself, so I'm just gonna assume that people would say I'm low value and need to be gone. If that was to come around, it's like, well, someone has to be low value, and looking at myself, it's like, sure, I can like feel bad about myself, but also recognize other people would also have low value of me.
That's skillful. He's hit up the lead. Ignoring the
so it's like,
for now.
Oh, I mean, I'd like it if like it wasn't me, if there was like some like great exception or something to the rules. But it's like, nah, I'd probably be off. I know that.
What's happening down there, Gary?
I'm pretty confident of that one.
First term, and it's not looking like a great day to be a forward. Coaches demand whole ground defence these days. And that front, both of today's
come off to St Kilda. No, handball that way. There you go. There's Ollie Florence. Holy crap, that might be Ollie crap. That's nice, but unfortunate. I thought he had it. There.
Goes towards halfback.
Handball.
Crouch takes the hand pass.
Okay, go down here. Who can you get? You can get it to Owens. That's gonna go kick inside. Go.
That might attract a
Can you get the goals? Come on. Oh, damn. This is actually interesting that Sydney have the lead at the moment, just because it's Saints' player one. So maybe it's possible that things have sort of evened out that way, and that would be really, really good to see. But yeah. Handball. No, get rid of it. Okay, so you get rid of this. You kick down there. And never mind. But no, I do like to think of like questions like that sometimes. Like, if I can, like the hypothetical stuff. Like, it's not like, it's never to say that it's like, oh, this thing should or shouldn't happen or something, but like, that's how you have to do things, isn't it? You have to first be like, well, what if you did it? What if that was a thing? But just imagine though, it's like the Thanos thing. It's like, but you do it based on like, what would it be? If I'm imagining it, because I was saying it, of like, if this was a thing that was to ever happen, how would it happen? It would kind of be like, there would have to be like some sort of testing, right? And it's like, there would be a bunch of like meddling with testing, I'd imagine. As well, it'd be times where it'd be like very rigged and just like completely corrupt, probably. And it's like, well, Okay, because it's like the people that die, they're not gonna care. They're gonna be dead. Like you can say, yeah, you can say like, oh, this person got corrupted against, they got screwed over in this. But it's like, if what happens is that like they get killed because they got screwed over, you know, it's like, yeah, maybe they're upset about it a little bit, but like once you get rid of them, it's like, well, they're not gonna care that much, are they? They're not gonna care for very long.
Maybe he could have gone himself.
That's the butler.
He's completely
okay then.
It's a waste of a promising build-up.
Probing ball.
Oh my
the lead. Towards the
sneezes are not great. Oh, sneezes are not great for that.
Gaz, what have you noticed down at ground level?
I felt it coming on and I went, oh, I'm so not looking forward to this.
It'll make their job that much easier.
Marshall showing
Yeah, you got the Sydney there. Oh, get rid of. Oh god. Kicks that way. Yeah, with Mr. Lloyd. But I was I think part of the reason why it came on at the moment for me, why I was thinking about that, was because I was watching an old video from I guess it was like 5 months ago. I think. I'm not sure, but it was like a talk between Destiny and Ayla. Ayla. I think so. I don't even remember everything I was hearing them talk about. Wait, no, I was only hearing them talk for like an hour. There was still like another 2 hours in it. But I remember hearing them just like talk about some things, and I'm hoping that like I can remember them. Like I was listening to it while riding the exercise bike and playing like games on PlayStation. So it's like, yes, my whole attention wasn't on it, but it was like a nice little accompany thing of like I was hearing. No, please get rid of this thing. There you go. Let's go. Keep going.
Greg Williams would have been proud of that.
Handballs.
Had more time than he thought. Still,
go out there. Very nice. Little kick.
Well
there was like this like, oh, what was the term? I was hearing her use like this term. I was like transhumanness or something. I'm trying to remember like what it was based on. I think it might have been. Oh yeah. What? Yes. Okay. Cool.
Seemed like the defenders got a bit lost there, and they were lucky not to give up a goal.
Go there with Mr. McCartan. I might just have to like keep trying to think of like things to talk about, and like if it like triggers like little memories, like perfect, that'd be great. And then I can use like little examples. That would be fantastic. I'd love that. Get the kicks on there. I remember actually like before, like when I was testing like strings out, before I started like a couple months ago, and I was like testing things out, I had like this idea of like, what if I was like, because I knew that I wanted to be able to talk about things and I didn't like have like full confidence in myself, and I still don't, just be able to like have the topic and then just be able to just rattle through it in the way that like I would perfectly envision. I was like, well, what if I had something else I was listening to accompany me at the same time, and then I would sort of be able to like have like a little bit of reactions to it, like if something came up that was like really interesting to me, because I do tend to because like just based on my life and what I'm used to like having like listening to things and then having my thoughts kind of come from there, and then like have something pop up and then it like flows through, because it's like my mind at that point is like in the zone. Okay. And I have something to work off of, rather than having to like come in here right now and then just sort of like bring it out of.
Looks like the disease is catching out there.
Back into play. Florence.
Can't get rid of it. Oh wow, that's on ball. Okay. Oh, that's gonna be off it. Yeah. Go.
What a hand pass.
It's not like the greatest hand pass. It could have been better. Yeah, it's turned over. Did they get the goal in there? Nope. Never mind. That's a miss. Okay then.
It's a behind.
They've got to start making these opportunities count.
Blakey.
Hey. Handball.
Strong grab.
Alright then, so what's like a thing we can talk about? Because it's like, because I have like the homeless person thing up there, maybe it's like the type of thing where it's like, oh, I'm just finding myself, because I can't like think of anything, I'm just like, oh my god, what if I just go back to it? But I'm like, did I already like finish my thought on all of it or what? I'm not sure.
Marshall with a deft tap. Parker, he's besieged.
Anyone to go over this way?
Wilkie,
oh, handballs. Like what I noticed is that, what do I notice? It's like, I guess like in my mind, I'm finding that I'm like, oh my god, I want a topic, I want to be able to talk about it for a very long time, but I don't know, I just, and then like I have like little thoughts that don't exactly like connect. Like I was going to talk right now and just be like, oh my god, what is success? You know, what does it mean for success? And it's like, well, it doesn't connect. It's like a completely different topic. And then it's well, it's not like it's a different topic. And then it's like, well, I might only talk about it for like a minute, and be like, yep, that's what that was. It's like, how many things can I really like bounce around on? I don't know.
But not this time.
It's like, anyway, when it comes to like success, well, what is success? So like we look at things and we're like, oh my god, that person's so successful. But it's like, what does it mean to actually be successful? It's like, well, in my mind, I mean, I might go into this deeper and go like, in terms of, instead of just like a surface level like little answer, but it's like, the simplest way I can think of it is like, okay, you have a goal in your mind. Did you achieve your goal? Yes, you're a success. Congratulations. It's like when we look at success, we look at like someone with like lots of money, but it's actually not saying that that person's successful. Like it's very possible for someone to have like lots and lots of money and be very highly achieved in an area, but to actually also still not be successful, because our idea on them being successful is based on the value they have to us. You know, like that's the idea of like saying if someone has lots and lots of money, chances are that means that they're very valuable commodity. You know, so then they're like, oh my god, that person's so successful. But what if that person, like, it doesn't matter. Like if someone says like, I want $1,001 and they get 1,000. It's not very much. Okay, anyway, let's think of something different. Okay, let's say someone has like $1 billion, but their dream is to have $2 billion. They are a failure because they didn't achieve their personal goals. But because when we look at that, we're like, oh my god, that person has $1 billion. They're so successful. Oh my god, based on like the average in terms of like what people would have in terms of like, you know, so that. But like we judge like people being like they're successful and stuff based on our personal view and like what they would fit into it and all that stuff, rather than actually saying like success is based on what a person's goals are. Yeah, there we go. That actually is a thing. In terms of like like looking around at other people and we say like, what was I going to base it on? I was going to say like based on our personal views and stuff, but our personal boundaries and everything. But what was that going to be? What was like the thing I was going to use as the example for that? That's what I'm trying to remember right now. Get the kicks down there. It might have been based on like the way that we act in terms of like our personal values. And it would have been get the handballs out there, not Mr. Sydney's. Like it would have been something around I've been like, okay, what would blah blah blah, okay, maybe what would I do in this situation, the stuff, would it be based on that? Was that what it was? It could have been. It might have just been like no, handball there. No. Like I know there was going to be a thing of like, oh, we just like assume that other people, especially like when you don't know them whatsoever, because it makes total sense if you have nothing to base on. But it's like I guess like we just kind of look around and we're like, okay, what's our personal like little value system and everything and our boundaries and all that stuff. We're like, this is morality or whatever, and, you know, but and then we just like look around at everyone else, like they fit into, and be like, okay, how do they fit into, how does this person, how do I perceive them to fit into my thing or whatever, right? And then we're like, oh my god, that person's doing good stuff and bad stuff or whatever. No, yes we do that, but I was gonna be like, we just sort of like project that onto other people in terms of like, oh well, this is what I think, because it's like the example would be like me feeling like these things are good and bad, and then I would look at everyone else and just project that they will fit into that no matter what, and even though in reality everyone has their own like different little systems they got going on, and that's just kind of based on their own like personal, I guess the word would be intrinsic values, and like the personality. Would intrinsic be the right word? Like they're inbuilt, however the hell they are, and then like experience. Like that's how we build our little views on the world, based on natural, based on like inbuilt, like really
I can't see either side falling away.
Oh, like our nature and nurture, right? I would have talked about that at some point, I don't know, where it's like our views on the world being like nature plus nurture.
And we'll have a stoppage near the centre. Big clearance to win here. Parker gives some ground with the hand.
Okay, so we got an 8-point game. Oh, little kick says Papley. Oh, it's off.
It'll be lucky to score.
Okay.
With the time he had, he probably should have done better there.
Wanganeen Malera with the footy.
I'm going to get the kick on there. So that's with Mr. Parker. Get your handballs.
I've liked his game today. Papley.
I wonder, imagine like, oh, well, because I'm thinking of things like, okay, so think like romantic and like sexual stuff, right? And like relationships. Think of it in terms of, so we have like little businesses, right? And we go like, okay, we need to like, okay, we're having like a business relationship. Okay, Mr. Sir, why should you work at Kmart? Or something like that, right? And it's like, oh, well, I should. And you have to like get all dressed up and everything. And then you have to like have maybe like resumes and stuff. But imagine like romantic things like that. I'd imagine it kind of does like work like that. But, imagine like showing up and it's like, okay, we need to see your references. Okay, how many boyfriends do you have? What's your resume? Do you have a resume of how many boyfriends or girlfriends you've had in your life? Oh, what are your references? Can I go to anyone and see what they would say about you, and if you're a good person having a relationship? What is it about you that why should I wonder like how many people have gone on a date, right? And then like gone and asked the person, okay, tell me Lisa, why should you be my girlfriend? What is it about you that makes you so much better than all the other girls and even the men? Maybe. Because like it depends on like what you're open to, you know. Then you'd be like, Lisa, why are you the best person for this, for the job as girlfriend? What are your qualifications? You know, and then you have to like go through all that. But that would be like, I imagine people would be like, oh my god, that's so weird. How would you do all that? It's like, oh, I'm a businessman. Little kicks over there.
Can run and gun. Lloyd, who was he aiming for? Turned over on centre.
Oh, yeah, little kick there.
Hasn't seen a lot of it. Hill.
And then you get kick in there. You got Mr. Wood. Go.
Directs a long ball to half.
So where are we at? We're at a 9-point game. We're early in the third quarter.
To analyse, Gaz, what stands out?
There's not much between these sides on the ladder, and there's not much between them on the scoreboard. Anyone's game.
Hickey
I think both of these teams are teams that like had just come off the bye. I think that's true. So, I'll get to. Okay, I just like literally had that thought just pop in my head just based on them mentioning the ladder and stuff. Goals? Yes? No? Oh crap!
Should have done a lot better there.
Handball. It's still fascinating to me that scoring in this still just continues to be low. I'm just like, what have I like managed to do to where all my games now are low? Like when I don't really want that.
In the forward pocket, Wanganeen Malera.
Yay!
They might want to tighten up on him. They gave him too much space on that occasion, and he made the most of it.
This is a ding-dong battle.
Excuse me? He just called it a ding-dong battle. That's fascinating. So like I was talking about homeless people a little bit beforehand. I like actually think about it and realize I'm like, holy crap! I'm just like, there's like a decent chance that like if I'm still alive like 20 years from now, I'm like, maybe I'm gonna be like homeless in 20 years and stuff. Like that's something like I'll think about. Just based on, just in terms, and it's like, oh my god, why would you think that? Actually, that's a very good reason I would think that. It's like, well, my school life was very quick. It wasn't gone. So people, based on education level, aren't going to find me like valuable in terms of like if I was able to go out and look for a job and stuff. It's like jobs wise, it's like I'm like inexperienced. There's nothing there. It's like socially, I don't actually like talk to people. So it's like, my value to the world isn't high. Like it actually isn't. That's based on experience. It's not like a thing of like, oh my god, you just feel bad about yourself and stuff. It's like, sure, that can be in there, but like no, like that's actually like it's very low value. Like I'm actually very low value in terms of like the general public and like what I perceive people to care about. So and like what I've seen people care about. So it's like yo, I have like streaming here and stuff. Like this is pretty much like my shot at life, kind of. And it's like, yeah, okay, you go over here and here. There's actually like a very good chance of just like, let's just say like my parents died and stuff within 10 years, and then it's like, okay, well, what are you going to do? It's like, I don't know. Like I don't know. Okay, you come get rid of this. That's why like I actually look at it and realize I'm like, there's actually like a very, like, I don't think I'm very far away from actually being like a homeless person.
Takes the responsibility, just needs to finish. Finish he does.
So it's like, yes, like when I'm doing streaming and stuff in here, there is part of me, there is like a lot of me that's like, look, let's like just try and enjoy the stuff and everything. But there is also part of me that sees it and it's like, look, for like my life and stuff to actually be something that has like a sustainable quality that doesn't end with me being a homeless person. This is kind of like the thing that like, it's all kind of dead to be like, look, this is kind of like your shot with stuff, and like you can work on it for like however long you feel like you can do that for. Okay, there's another goal in there. But it's interesting seeing that. And then like I can say that stuff and like maybe someone would like hear it and be like, oh my god, maybe you should, and like maybe you could be like, oh my god, maybe don't think that way or stuff or whatever. The point would be like, there's no one that like owes me anything in it, right? Like I'm streaming for me and I'm doing it for me, not for anyone else. Like yeah, but okay, you go in here, Mr. Campbell, and no one's gonna like watch me for anyone but their own reason. At the moment, currently, it says 0 viewers. Why? Because no one, currently, there's no one who's on Twitch or anything that has like, in terms of like what they value and stuff, they already have their peoples and their time, and they have other things in life. Like, no one owes me anything to like, come and watch this stuff. So that's like up to me. Like, if I really wanted it to be a thing, and to be a sustainable stuff, then what that would require would be to like work out, okay, how do you get it to like where people would have interest to watch you and stuff. That's what it would be based on.
He's got the distance, but not
and that would sort of involve, okay, where do people like hang out and stuff, and be like, hey, let's do like a little, let's do a advertisements, you know, a bit like, hey, I'm over here, here's a little thing. Like that's just kind of like what you do, right?
Can they keep the footy this time? Marshall got to the right position and hung on. Papley.
Mr. Sydney's,
thank you very much.
because like the way I'm doing it right now, where it's like, okay, I'm just doing it for me, I'm playing the games, making sure that like I enjoy what I'm doing. Like yeah, that's fantastic and stuff. But in terms of like growth and everything, in terms of financially, that's like a horrible strategy. It's actually a horrible strategy. The reason it's a horrible strategy is that it's all like it's not taking into account like what other people give a crap about, because like I'm not the customer, you know, I am the product. Like this is the product, I'm not the customer. Like I'm not gonna, like I can't, you know, like like for a product to be quote unquote successful, what it actually would have to require is for like customers to want to like have the product, right? So it's a terrible strategy to just ignore the like promotion side of the business, which is like for the most part what I'm doing, right? It's like chances of like viewer growth is very, very unlikely. Like it's so unlikely. It's already unlikely in general, but the way I'm doing it makes it like look very even more unlikely. Mambos, and it's like I understand that.
They're playing with purpose and poise.
Like one thing I like to ask myself is like, what do I want? Like what do I want in life? And that's a very like deep question I actually find. Because I'm not like asking of like, oh, what do I want? Oh yeah, I want to do like streaming and stuff. Like that's very surface level shit. Like it's like, well, why do you want to stream? What is your like reason behind that? It's like, okay, you want it for this reason. What is your reasons for wanting this thing and this thing? And then you have to like keep peeling back the layers, right? So it's like I try to like think like as deep as I can on like what do I actually want and why do I want it, and it's very hard to answer because at some point you're actually just going to have a very tough time answering. Like as you peel layers back and back and back, at some point you're going to get to the point where you're like, I don't actually know how to answer this question at the moment. But in terms of like the what do I want, I do like really try and think about that. Come get rid of this. There you go. Mr. Marshall's kick. Keep handballing. Go. Oh!
Crouch, fighting tooth and nail not to give up a goal. Crunching tackle.
Okay, that's a ball up as well.
As we near three-quarter time.
here we go with
Gresham.
St Kilda. Runs. Billings. Kick.
He hasn't kicked it very well.
Yay. That's Sydney, boys.
And they're out of trouble.
If only Sydney could like freaking play, could actually like be in the lead and like keep the lead in games and like actual lives. I'm still hesitant to talk about and be like real life. I'm still hesitant to call like the AFL that we look at our life and call it real life compared to this. I'm still hesitant to do that. You know, it's like because I hate talking about things of like real life.
For a boost just before the break. This is very close.
That's unfortunate. Like because
to bring it in.
Go over here.
Is a wonderful quality, but not on a
like the reason I become so hesitant, and I would have talked about this, is because when we look at things, okay, Mitchie Owens, come on, can this come back? It's gonna be after the siren. Yeah, there you go.
He's got it.
That's big.
On the score sheet, it's been quiet today, but he made that one count.
3/4 in, and this one's still up for grabs. Huge last quarter coming up. It's time.
That was a big goal, big little moment right there. And then being able to bring it back to 9 points heading into this last quarter here. Anyone's game. But yeah, I become like very hesitant, and it really became of like, because like I was just like, because coming from like my Survivor fandom, so then like I would constantly hear people be like, oh, this isn't real life and stuff, but it's like, dude, like if you like fell in a fire, if you like got pierced with like a spear or something, or whatever, like and it happens there, like, oh, that has like quote unquote real world implications, right? Consequences and everything. So it's like, well, it is happening within the real world. If it's based on that, it's like, what does it mean for something to be real world? You know? Like the reason I can look at this right now and say like, oh, this isn't the real world or whatever, because things that are happening within the environment in this game, that's not actually happening to anyone or whatever. But actually, I could argue that it is real world things. Well, I guess within like the world, like this is a simulated. Well, it's not a it is a simulated world, but it's like an artificial created world. So I guess like these artificial like creations, it happens within that artificial world. It doesn't really happen within the world that I'm speaking in right now. The one that anyone watching right now would be like in as well, like our little world. It's not like the same. It's like a different layer, I suppose. But it does still have like consequences. It does still have a connection to our world that we're in right now, because I'm the one playing it, right? Like I'm spending my time in life playing these games, so it does have a connection to like my world, to our world and stuff, and like anyone who would be watching it, like because of that, it does have is the word implications? I think so. Towards, if it's the wrong word, that's the word I'm going to keep using, I guess. I'm just kind of hoping it is the right word, but like it does have that connection, even though like it's an artificially created world, because an artificially created situation through like computers and through technology. It is still happening, I suppose, within the real world, but not really. Okay, that's Mr. Mills. I guess like the difference is like, yes, I have control in the situation, but like the handballs and the kicks that are happening through these players, I'm not actually kicking the ball, like myself. Like I'm not physically kicking the ball, but I am making movements to have that happen. It's very interesting. Okay, coming in here, I guess like because I myself am actually doing the functions to create the movements. Someone else's problem. Bad error there. Mills gathers. He's been dispossessed. That's why I'm like hesitant to be like, oh my god, it's not. Be hesitant to say that it's not real life, just because of like it's so yeah.
This is great pressure footy. He's caught. Higgins. 3 in a row coming up.
Yay! They've made that little comeback here. They made it actually really quick as well. But yeah, so that's like, it's like I know like, I don't remember however long ago it was when I was thinking about like, oh my god, why do people in Survivor keep calling like it's not real world and stuff? And it's like, when it's like just like a created environment that still happens. Like if someone fell in the fire, they're getting burnt, just like in the quote-unquote real world. And then it'll be like, oh, politics stuff. That's like real world implications and stuff and everything. It's like, but like a political party is created. Like it's not like a real thing. Just comes up there. Like all these things are within the same world. So it's like I'm like, no, in my mind I'm like, no, these things are all real life. Doesn't matter like how much of an impact it has or what the impact is. You know, it's like it's all happening within the same environment called Earth.
Franklin. Some people can't kick that far.
Oh, kick! Can you get the mark? Oh, he's dropped it. Haywood.
He ran into a brick wall.
Okay, so we actually have like another close game coming up here, which, I mean, it's nice to see. Like, I so much prefer having all the games be close than all the games being blowouts. It's so much better.
Good tackle.
Gone. Caught napping in a dangerous spot.
Open.
Can you get it? Oh! That was a smart kick. I wasn't sure if it would work.
Up in front in a moment.
He should get this goal. Imagine if he misses, though. Yay!
And he has put it away.
He hasn't had a big impact, but he's still found a way to kick a couple.
The Swans with the inside running again. Important clearance here. Billy.
Comes with St Kilda. Go.
Marshall.
Keep it going.
It's a hot footy.
Jones. Oh my god. It just makes me so happy that like if like the recent update that we got actually really does make it so then like, these games have a better chance of being competitive and everything. God, that makes me so happy.
He hasn't been himself today. Hickey is hard to beat one-on-one.
Just because now like I have like, anticipation of like, oh, we don't know who's going to win at all times and everything. It's just nice to see. Hey, another mark.
He's hit up the lead.
Let's see what Goulding can get.
Kick these goals.
Hello, Goulding. He comes in. Oh.
Passage of play. That would have been a great team goal.
That's an opportunity gone begging. You back him in more.
Yeah, they bring it out. They got numbers. Little kick here.
Brings it out wide. Crouch can keep it moving.
Oh no, he's turned it over. I thought it'd all be fine, but he's turned it over. Bro, bottom goes into the 50. Can they get the mark? Hey.
And claims the mark.
This will ease the nerves just a little.
Sam Reid, he has one goal already. Can he get his second? Increase Sydney's lead to 9 points.
The kick, and he's
yes, he can. Yeah, he's got it. So, with the amount of goals we got, it's a really good lead to have. But we have seen St Kilda be able to put up a few goals very quickly. Sydney again. Oh, might want to run and just kick it. There you go. I think it might be coming back.
Cunningham got a fist in.
Go here. Go.
This will be their first entry for a while. McCartan.
And all out there. Oh no, that's not great. Keep it going. There you go.
Parker feeds it out.
They're doing. Oh no.
How will the umpire see the Saints will have
okay then.
on the clock.
I'm gonna put a little like hot. I guess this is like a hot take with AFL stuff. I hate the father-son rule.
That's a brutal tackle. Stevens.
Okay, you come this way. It's like I guess it's just like I know like the idea is like oh my god, but like think of like the traditions and stuff and like the lineage and you have like a father and son, they're in the same team. Isn't that so cool and stuff? It's like I don't actually give that much of a fuck. I think that's really what it comes to. Like I really don't give a crap about like a father and a son playing for the same team.
His goal is so far, but this would be a great way to get.
It's like I don't necessarily think that's actually better for the league, you know. Yeah, there you are. There you go.
They've got to find a way to get him into the game. We know how damaging he can be.
3 points to
it brings it back to 3 points. It's like because you just like think of like oh where would Nick Dacos be playing? I don't even remember like what teams had #1 picks and everything. But it's like well like Ashcroft wouldn't be at Brisbane, Dacos wouldn't be at Collingwood right now. You know, like all these other players wouldn't be wherever they are. Hey, there you go.
It's a gift, really. He's taken 4.
And it's like the same thing with academies. It's like I don't give a crap if like a team had an academy. Like wouldn't like why wouldn't you want like the team with the #1 pick, which is like pretty much meant to be the worst team? Why wouldn't you want them to have like the best chance at, like, if you're talking about like league neutrality or whatever, right? Like, that's the idea of the draft. Like, the team with the first pick is supposed to like have the idea of being able to get like the best player they want, right? Go, oh, Sydney, keep going. There you go. Oh, it's coming back. Coming back up. Get rid of it.
Goes very wide. Gresham wins the contest.
Billy Isham gets the kick in the middle. It's who's getting the crumb? For St Kilda. Yeah, you have to get rid of that. That's little handballs there. Little kick. Oh.
How do you get rid of that? Legally, says the ump.
Oh my God.
He doesn't waste many. McCartan.
Wow. Yeah, wow. That's big. Big. I thought for sure. I thought for sure it was going to be a St Kilda mark there.
The Saints forcing them out.
They got numbers. Fought through it. It comes with Lloyd. Handball's back in. That's not good. That's not good. Oh, they get it though. They get it though. Handball again. Comes with McInerney. He gets the kick. Oh no. Get rid of that. Sydney. Little kick gets to Reed. He gets the kick over this way. With Rowbottom. He goes inside. Looking like it's doing. Oh! Oh my God. Who's getting this ball? Who's getting it? One of you are going to get it. St Kilda. It comes. Oh, this is probably coming back here, I guess. Wow. Okay. So oh. Come on. Go in there. Can they get this mark? Can they get it? Holy crap. Can he get the goal? If he gets this goal, we're on. You need to get this right here. Tim Membry has no goals. He needs to get this one.
In towards goal. He's made the goal umpire work.
How? How have you managed that? How have you managed to do that though?
Lloyd goes towards half.
And oh, that's gonna. I think that's gonna be. It's gonna be game. It's like, how'd you manage to screw that up?
Picking their way through. Reed.
Like, he was like in a really good position to be able to get that.
That play should have resulted in a shot at goal. That's skillful. Higgins.
Kick in the 50.
Here's the vital kick inside the 50. Membry is the man on the spot.
Just go to kick. Just go quickly. Can you get that? That one's a goal. Okay. One last little shot. Just had to kick it quick. You can get that there. 2-point game. Who's getting the ball here? Sydney. That's an amazing kick. That's the game over. And it's just going to run out. There you go.
Insufficient intent or a skill error?
It was a fantastic insufficient intent. It was exactly what Sydney needed there. It was exactly what they needed. They get the win. Holy crap. The end there for Timmy Membry though. There were 2 goals for 5 different players in here. Oh, it was McInerney with 55, really? Okay, Parker and Papley each had 40. Mitch Owens had the most marks. Lloyd also had 10. Oh, we had a nice game though. A nice close game. Scoring was picking up as we went on. That was good to see. And that's Sydney getting the victory here. Holy crap. They had Papley, Reed and Hayward with 2 goals. McInerney with 55. Parker with 48. Papley had 41 as well. And Sydney get on top of St Kilda. 2 points. 59 to 57.